Like even in the film industry or working as a full-time model in New York City, doing acting, it made me really want to be serious about taking care of myself. 12-day ayahuasca retreat. That changed the course of my life. Ayahuasca did for me is reprogram my mind. A lot of these spiritual experiences, they are just reminders of what we already know. Like I never really did an inner engineering program, so I'm more like an observer. No one is like super guru and like everything is like perfect.
You said your thoughts, like your thinking reduced by 80%.
Yeah.
Who was thinking and who are you? Like maybe there are 2%, right?
Look, don't listen to what I say. I'm not gonna tell you to go do ayahuasca or Vipassana.
So today I am having Kevin from New York, United States. He is a traveler and volunteer. Also, he was in Hollywood film industry and media and all. How you introduce yourself to my audience? Because my understanding about you is limited.
I was born in the States. I lived in New York. I worked in media and I love sports and travel. And I guess it may help if we just talk,
Exactly.
Labels can be challenging.
Exactly.
So my ancestry is South Korean, but I'm not sure what the discussion is about, because you didn't really tell me much. We just kind of sat here and now we're talking.
Yeah.
So I guess it could be more like a conversation.
Exactly. So my audience are basically they are spiritual seeker. They are like more into Indian spirituality and they want to know more about how to progress spiritually. So I ask question related to that, self-improvement or something like that.
Yeah.
So basically, as you said, you did Vipassana, Ayahuasca ceremony, and you also visited Isha Yoga Center.
Yes.
And I have seen your profile and all. I have seen that you have volunteered across United States and maybe other country. I'm not sure. My question will be related to these things.
So just life.
In life, you can say that.
One of my favorite topics.
About life.
Just life.
So you are working in this Hollywood industry. You are a production something. You are into production team, right?
Yeah.
Then like New York is a very famous. So many of Indians want to go to US and New York and all. So you left that and you started doing Vipassana meditation. What was the reason behind that?
Well, even when I was working in production, I would do the Vipassana meditation retreat. And by the way, thank you for just having me.
Yeah,
and,
my pleasure.
Hello to all of Ganesh's audience. And, I'm just happy to be here in Udupi with nice rain and relaxing place. And I guess let's start from the beginning of this journey, maybe.
Yeah,
maybe that would be helpful.
Yeah.
So in 2015, how do I describe this? There was a time in my life after university where the future freaked me out, and I was, very just desperate and naive, and that pushed me to go to South America and do this 12-day ayahuasca retreat. And that was in 2015. And that changed the course of my life because I was so open to it. I was so open to help myself and to change that I would say it was successful. It was an investment in myself. I spent, a good amount of money to fly there and to have that experience. And but that being said, that's my story, and I wouldn't necessarily tell people to go to South America and do ayahuasca, because I think intention really matters. And some people can have an equal transformative experience from a priest or from a meditation center or from many, many things, doing mushrooms or something simple like seeing a bird fly that could spark something, It's just, for me, that's how it happened. That was the course of my story. And then that was in a way, the catalyst that changed my ship a few degrees so that the rest, moving forward, it felt like I was more on a better path for my well-being. So I would say that was the start, right? 2015. Mm-hmm. And it made me see the world differently and myself. It made me really want to be serious about taking care of myself, which in a way is kind of funny that it took that long for me to care about that, because before that I didn't really have that concept of you could say like a love for myself, but I think programming is a great word. Mm-hmm. And conditioning. I think that when people are growing up, we're receiving a conditioning and programming, and sometimes it's not always helpful. So what the ayahuasca did for me is reprogram my mind, and so following that, I had a different perspective on death, and I felt that I wanted to really live fully and not being afraid of death. So I think that was a really important reprogramming. Among many things got reprogrammed, but one was the concept of death. And so I just started to be more proactive in life. I'm gonna do this thing, I'm gonna travel to this place, I'm gonna go after something, and I don't care what anyone thinks. I don't care about smaller stuff, because I'm just thinking now, I was thinking more this is just my life. My life is really important. So I'm gonna do the things that I really care about and that really matter to me. And if I die doing it, let it be. At least I was living fully. so, you know, through that came a lot of traveling, a lot of more self-discovery, and I ended up moving to New York City through that process. So I was always thinking about these things, like even in the film industry or working as a full-time model in New York City, doing acting, like I always felt like I always prioritize like my well-being, and I think it takes time to develop like a mature set of life principles. So rather than identifying as a seeker, like I feel that I just try to do things every day that is more practical, so that I don't need to go, you know, across the world to seek some truth. I can do things in the morning and the night to remind me of the truths and the important stuff, because I feel like a lot of the seeking is a lot of these spiritual experiences, they are just reminders of what we already know. So why not just give myself the reminders every day? Morning and the night is probably the best time for me. And then I can spend more time just living my life and does that make sense?
Yeah. So most people go to this ayahuasca ceremony who are depressed or they have any near-death experience or something like that. I met many people who did ayahuasca, and I have watched many documentaries also. What was your background? Why you went there actually for the ayahuasca ceremony? What you were expecting and what you got from there?
Yeah, I first became aware of these ceremonies in high school. Someone told me about it, a good friend of mine. And I think that's where the seed was planted. I thought it was interesting that people would travel to South America, like thousands of miles to vomit and go through these visions. And so during that time where I felt stuck and not well, I remembered that those ceremonies from the internet. Like I remember about ayahuasca, and that was the mode of, I guess you could say, like a healing that I decided to choose. I felt the most open to it. Like it felt like a calling, you know. It was just like a gut feeling, like intuition stuff. And so that's how I ended up choosing it. And then in the actual ceremonies, so we did 4 ceremonies over 12 days. And yeah, it's true. You are meeting other people from around the world who are coming to, well, I don't really know why they're there. You know, I can't read their minds or their heart, but you know, it seems like they're also there to feel better and change their lives. And so the energy felt very like uplifting, and it's really hard to explain like what I saw and the things I felt, but yeah, there was purging. Like I would vomit a lot in ceremonies, and it would feel like some energy was coming out of me, like energy that felt dark and like garbage, and it was being released from me. So I guess that's what they call it, a purge. Like it really does feel like purging out things that are no longer helping me, and things from childhood that I've somehow stored in my body somewhere. Because I do think energy is stored in the body physically, and it can manifest in illnesses and all this stuff. And like, I think there's truth to that. It is kind of how do you say, like a little metaphysical stuff, and hard to prove scientifically, but my intuition says I think there's truth to that, where certain traumas and just things we haven't really dealt with and processed get stored in the body, and then maybe someone's knee hurts or something like that, and they can't explain why, or obviously it can manifest in the mind and mental illnesses, I guess. So in that sense, I do think ayahuasca can be treated as a medicine, like actually like a medicine. But it can be complicated, because if the shaman is not like a genuine shaman, or there can be many points where it can go wrong in a way. So I feel in a way lucky that the place I was in was like I think a high quality like place. Yeah, I started to change my diet after that, and yeah, like I said, I think it just changed my path in a better way.
So you felt anything like you went beyond body and mind or something during this ayahuasca ceremony?
Oh, absolutely. Like if anyone has experienced dimethyltryptamine, the DMT molecule, like I think it's people who have experienced that, it's like it's so hard to explain with words. It is transcendental, beyond mind and body. It's in a way it felt like a space that reveals like the fabric of the universe. Like it didn't feel like a hallucination. It felt very, very real. And I mean, it's explained like many times, but so I'm trying to I don't think I'm saying anything new, like.
It's very new for my audience actually. Maybe most of my audience may never heard about ayahuasca, So I heard that every person having their own experience, every person is having their own. It's not like same experience. Maybe depending on their background and all.
Yeah. I mean, it makes me think of if reality is, reality looks like this, right? With light and eyes, and this is a form of reality. Well, with ayahuasca, going through that, going through the ayahuasca, it almost shows the code behind the reality. That's more like a programming computer science term, like that kind of code. Like there's a code for DNA, obviously. That is a genetic code. But I think everything in reality has a code to it, and that's how everything is happening in a way. Someone becoming a president, someone stepping over a puddle, a conversation happening. There's code behind these things, and ayahuasca kind of shows the code, which in a way is like super reality. It's actual reality. So it's like showing almost like a hidden secret. But then it can be tricky because after, it's about 8 hours. It's like 6 to 8 hours of just like so many things happening. But then like afterwards, it can be tricky because it's like, okay, I saw all of that. I felt all of those things. But then like, what do I do? It can feel like there can be this frustration, not a frustration, but like almost like a new problem where it's like, okay, now what? Like, okay, maybe I saw the code and maybe I see reality differently, but then it could be so much information all at once that it can almost be not practical to now that person has to go exist in the real world now, Does that make sense? So that's why it's important to have a group of people who kind of like, you can talk to about that stuff. And it felt like, there's that saying of like, I went to, get some answers, but then I just ended up having more questions, right? So it was a little bit of that. So, but definitely overall for me, it was very positive because that inspired me to look into like Eckhart Tolle's work and other books and resources. Like I was like really enthusiastic about continuing this journey, so now it's like, okay, now what else can I learn, but still a lot of that is seeking. But I think we talked about it earlier, like I think seeking is a necessary step in one's life, like to keep consuming and looking and looking for truth. But then it can be a little dangerous in a way where someone creates an identity out of seeking. So then someone can spend their whole life just seeking. But I'm more interested in just living like awesomely, just living a great life, and I don't need to always be seeking all the time. And I think, I mentioned it earlier, I think all of that seeking is for a reminder. Like we just need to be reminded of these truths. But you made me think of another thing. Oh yeah, with the Eckhart Tolle's work, like I found his work to be really helpful for me after that Peru some people go through the ceremonies in Peru or Ecuador, but like I felt like he was able to put into words the things that I was experiencing, like after the ceremonies. So yeah, I liked reading and listening to his work because it felt like I was connecting to what he was saying. It was kind of like, oh yeah, I think that's what happened to me. You know, does that instead of it being all confusing. I would say another thing that came from the ayahuasca stuff was I noticed like the amount of thinking in my head like reduced by like 80%.
For how many days?
I think for months, maybe more than a year, maybe years. Like it's hard to even remember how much I was thinking before.
You mean monkey mind?
Yeah, just like before the ceremonies, for most of my life, most of my upbringing and teenage years, early 20s, just always like my mind would never stop. Like it would always be thinking of something. And most of them were not like helpful, they're just repetitive. But then almost like immediately after the ceremonies, I noticed I like a lot of the thinking, like the volume just turned down like so much. And I think that contributes a lot to like someone's well-being. Like if we don't need to think all the time. We don't I think I don't need to think like using the mind as a tool, you know, like being in control of my mind. Like, oh, if I need to plan something, all right, let's activate the mind, let's think of something. But after that, like, I don't have to continue. I can have it quiet in there and just like look at a wall or something, and then just, I don't need to think about stuff. I just look at something. And Eckhart Tolle talks a lot about that, like when we look at a tree, it's like a habit that we need to call it a name. We need to describe it. Like, oh, that's a tall tree, that's a coconut tree. It's like already happening. But then a child, like a really young child who doesn't really know language, they look at a tree and like nothing is going in their head. Like they just see this, beautiful thing. And so, yeah, but there's also, Vipassana is also helpful for me. And
before that, before we go to Vipassana, let me clear this.
Yeah.
So you said your thinking stopped and you are not thinking so much. So then who are you? Like you are not the mind, or who you think you are?
Like ultimately?
No. Like you said, your thoughts, your thinking reduced by 80%.
Yeah.
So who was thinking and who are you? Like maybe there are 2%, right?
I think I don't think the thinking is who I am. I think that's the ego. That's a separate entity. It's thoughts are kind of like materials. It's kind of like a cup. A cup is a thing. A thought is also a thing. But I'm not a cup, I'm not the thoughts. Those are just things that are that the ego is producing. But yeah, who am I? I mean, it could be like, what am I, right? It could be like, what is this? And yeah, there are many answers to that, but like, you know, there's like the world answer, like who am I? I'm from here, I do this, like that's who I am or what I am, that's my profession. But those things I like to play around with because they're just more labels, but
Just keep on changing.
yeah, changing, and they're not like really who I am. But I feel like if we keep introducing ourselves or thinking about like I am an accountant, I am a project manager, if we keep saying that, then our mind might start to believe it in a subconscious way. So, and I think that can lead to maybe not a ideal mindset, because no one is an accountant. It's just something that they do sometimes. Yeah, ultimately, like, our essence is in a way nothingness. Like, our essence is empty, spacious, and at the same time connected with everything in the universe. Yeah, in essence. And it's hard to rationalize all this stuff because it goes beyond the mind. It goes beyond mental perception. So I'm not trying to confuse people. Like, it's more experiential. Mm-hmm. Like, it's just a feeling of being. I think that's more who I am. Like, that feeling of just being without the mind. And
so there is a thoughts, like your thinking is there, and there is a body what we are looking at you. And there is some space we have, like, between that gap, you know. So there are thoughts, like thinking is going on, and there somewhere it will stop. Maybe there is a space between that is we, or we are something else.
Yeah, I've heard
emptiness is there.
Yeah, I've heard that space in between the thinking, some could say that's who we are. I think it's more than just the space. It's being aware of that space. It's like awareness.
So when you are into ayahuasca ceremony, your ego detached from your body and you went in that space, or something happened to you like that? It was very unusual for you to see that you are not the body, you are not the thinking, and you went beyond and such a space where there is no thinking, only nothing is there.
Yeah, that definitely happened. But even that ego separation can happen from a psychedelic, like mushrooms or LSD. So yeah, I've but just experiencing that. You know, people can have different reactions to that. You know, so. But yes, that happened for me.
So another thing I want to ask, you said that you have seen quotes in ayahuasca ceremony. You said some quotes, and you came up with more questions than answers. So you are in real life now. Do you think this is the life? Is this life is real, or that life which is shown to you during a ayahuasca ceremony is real?
I think it's all under the umbrella of real. They're both real. but that's the beauty of reality, is it can express itself in so many forms. It can express itself in this form, but also the plant of ayahuasca, that drink, that plant, and the DMT molecule, that is also an expression of the intelligence of the universe, right? The same way every leaf has an intelligence in it, a code, right? And same in the ayahuasca vine. And then when I consume it, that intelligence is now expressing itself through my body, and then I have like a certain vision and experience. So it's all like an expression. It's all like reality. And everything I'm experiencing, eyes closed, all these stuff, like that's also the same reality. So yeah, you're reminding me, speaking of reminder, you're reminding me of the beauty of reality. Like it's so diverse, and that's what I care about, is like not to live a limited life, like not to be limited, because reality is limitless. It's like infinite. There's so much to this world and life. Like it doesn't make sense for me to have one kind of job or one kind of lifestyle. Like it's always changing. I'm changing. The world, everything's changing. Like every second, you know. And but I could see how someone could think that's like a dark thing. Like, oh, it's scary. Everything's changing and it's so vast. Like reality is so there's so much to it. But I guess maybe it comes down to a choice, like how I want to see it. I could be afraid, or I could be more enthusiastic and excited. But that being said, I do think it's not all about like, yeah, like life is amazing and you know, like wow, like not to always be in that. But then comes the importance of discipline. I think having discipline and structure into that kind of mindset, I think the discipline creates a good structure. Like our bodies have bones with the spine and all the joints. Like that is we need that structure, and then on top of that, someone can add all the soft things to that. So I think something I learned in this path, you could say, is to have that enthusiasm for life, and that awareness of nothingness and emptiness, and then to combine that with discipline and structure, and then that's a little bit of where I'm at right now. It's like learning about that combination. Yeah, and having all this spiritual kind of philosophical things, to have it more practical in my life. Like, because someone can read thousands of books about life, but then like how does it apply to, like what do I do with that? Like how does that actually make my life better, so that sitting here talking with you can be a pleasant experience, or when I have to travel, when I have to ride a moped, or you know, when I have to do life stuff, like how does that feed and contribute to my life? So something more practical. That's what I'm. That's kind of where I'm at right now.
So after ayahuasca, you got introduced to this Vipassana meditation. How you got introduced? How you came to know about it?
I met someone at the ayahuasca retreat, and she did it. She completed a 10-day silent retreat, Vipassana, and that was the first time I heard about it. I was like, 10 days of no talking and no phones and no reading, no writing, no eye contact with people, because they say that's a form of communication, and just meditating for average about 10 hours each day for 10 days. Like, that was the first time I heard about that concept. So that was 2015. It wasn't until 2019, 4 years later, that I actually attended and completed the 10-day Vipassana retreat.
So how was it? Like, what you used to do during these 10 days? What kind of thought used to come? Like, is it, so you said in ayahuasca is you went, like, your thoughts, thinking reduced to 80%. Here what happened?
In Vipassana, well, I'll say that I don't think I would have completed the 10 days if I didn't do the ayahuasca ceremonies. So I feel like the ayahuasca ceremonies help prepare me, you know, to have certain tools that I can, that would help me with the Vipassana, because after about 3 or 4 days into the Vipassana, like, it's like some people leave because it's like intense, you know. It's a lot of sitting with someone's thoughts and
Focusing over here only.
Yeah, focusing on the respiration, the breathing. So yeah, that's a good point. Like, because after the ayahuasca, I felt like I had a better relationship with my thoughts. So, well, what is Vipassana? It's a lot of just sitting with your thoughts. So it wasn't like, it was more bearable. Does that make sense? So, but it was definitely really hard still, but yeah, I mean, yeah, so after that, like, they always say to continue the practice, do 1 hour each morning and 1 hour in the evening at least. And I think I did some of that right after leaving the place. But it was like, it didn't take long for me to like stop doing it, because 1 hour in the morning and 1 hour at night for my life, just, it didn't fit, and I just wouldn't do it. So how I edited that for my life, because, you know, everyone's different, was I'll just do like, well, first I told myself I'll just do 20 minutes in the morning, but then even that I didn't stick with that. So then I heard this author, this writer, talk about this concept of like 2 minutes. Like if someone wants to start a new habit, just do like 2 minutes. Or even like, you know, just like that concept of like, it could be so small, even like 20 seconds. But at least you did it, right? It's more important to do it. So I like to play with that that idea. So I tried just like 2 minutes, and then I did it. I was like, that wasn't too bad. Like I have 2 minutes in the morning, and of course, when I'm sitting there for like 2 minutes, of course it turns into 3 minutes, you know. And then I'm like, oh, I already did 3 minutes. Let's do like 5 minutes, you know. So it's like it's almost like a trick to get someone to do it. So I really like that idea of like just 2 minutes, and so that's what allowed it to stick into my life. So that now every morning for the past four years, I would say, I'll do a Vipassana meditation, and sometimes it's 2 minutes, sometimes it's 5 minutes. You know, it's just it varies, but it's like I said, it's more important to just do it consistently. And yeah, if people are interested, like, yeah, it's called a Vipassana, and I believe that translates to see what is, or another way of saying that is seeing reality. That's interesting. We were talking about reality, but yeah, Vipassana is also about seeing what is. And I think it's a more practical form of a practice, a more practical practice, because someone can do it anywhere, almost any time. There's no equipment needed, right? And like I could do it right here, you know. I mean, I don't have to sit a certain way, but you know, so if someone can just sit, or even, yeah, I'll sit like this. It's a little slanted, so I'll just stick with this. You know, just like neutral spine posture, and you know, hands relaxed. I don't, you know, this just feels natural to me. And then it's basically focusing on the inhalation into the nose, and then the exhalation out of the nose. So then you'll feel that breathing happening above the lips and on the lips. And that's what the focus point is. You're just focusing on that, the breathing. And usually during that process, you know, sometimes the mind will think of stuff, but that's part of the practice is, yeah, if you think of stuff, it's okay, but just remind yourself to bring the attention back here. So let's say I'm focusing on the breathing, just the sensation, and then I start to think about what time is it, you know? But then it's about catching myself. So it's like, oh, look, I'm thinking about the time, so let's bring it back to the breathing. So
so this Vipassana, in Ayahuasca, your thoughts reduced to 80%. And in this Vipassana, what happened? Like thought reduced, or you have seen some kind of experience, unusual experience you had?
That's a great question. Like with the ayahuasca, afterwards, it felt like a dramatic change, you know? Like, it's like, whoa, what the hell just happened? And my reality changed. Like, you know what I mean? Like so much change happened, like condensed in, you know, a few days. With the Vipassana, maybe I was a little more mature by that time. With the Vipassana, I think the change started to happen over some years. Like in a way, I noticed some changes about me now from 2019 Vipassana. And something about that change could be, generally, I think I feel more calm. And I think it helped me to walk more intentionally. So sometimes just slow walking, one foot in front of the other, and just enjoying the feeling of walking.
So you are more conscious nowadays, you can say.
Right. So I think one thing I was going to add to that is I think just a general increase in awareness. So it's not like I always walk, very intentionally and slow and like I'm always calm. No, because life isn't like that. Like life always challenges someone. Like that's what I think. I was talking about spirituality and seekers. No one is like super guru and like everything is like perfect, like, oh, like I'm just totally calm now all the time. Like I know that's not real, because life always challenges in a good way. I think it makes it more fun and interesting. But I think it did help me where if I notice my walking is a little more impatient or I don't feel as calm, I think I'm quicker to see that. So let's say I start, walking really fast and I'm in a rush. I think I can better catch myself and see like, hey, look how fast you're walking. Isn't that interesting? Like, why are you feeling this way? And then I can be like, oh yeah, I should slow down. Does that make sense? So like, that's why I think it's more practical, because I can actually bring it to my life. Yeah. Does that make sense?
So what do you think, like if people want to, because many people having problem of this busy mind, monkey mind, there are many thoughts are running and they are tired of it, they want to feel calm and want peace, especially. Such people should go to this Vipassana or Ayahuasca ceremony. What do you think? Or there are any other way to stop the mind or feel the peace at least for some time? Because I feel like when there is a mind is busy in thinking, it's like a processor, computer processor. It will be heat up, like processor need keep on, it needs so much power.
Yeah.
They feel like whole day something is going on in the mind.
Right.
And you said like 80% of the thinking stopped when you are in Ayahuasca.
Yeah.
So which one is better, you think, like Vipassana or Ayahuasca, or you have found something else?
Look, don't listen to what I say. I'm not going to tell you to go do Ayahuasca or Vipassana. It's up to the individual to have that desire to really, really want to change. And I think people find the help. People find the help that they need. And for me in 2015, it happened to be ayahuasca. But then, like I said, life still challenges. And then I felt that, Vipassana would be helpful. But again, just because something has a spiritual background to it, I think there are things that can seem more normal but they can be just as spiritually profound. Like my time in Vietnam, traveling for 2 months in Vietnam, was absolutely life-changing. And a lot of that was me riding a scooter, traveling through Vietnam, and just meeting people and experiencing that. And I really felt like that changed who I was. And but people generally don't associate traveling in Vietnam with a spiritual activity, as a spiritual activity. But to me, it was hell. It was hell spirit, like super spiritual for me, in my personal life. So people will find what they need, and yeah, I think there is something else that I want to talk about that I think that can help with the mental chatter, the monkey mind, is physical exercise. Like that's something that I found is practical. I can do it every week, and I notice a clear difference after, let's say, I run for about 30 minutes. Like my physiology and my mental state is changed after those 30 minutes of running. So those, and then the gym. Like I like going to the gym and doing a really good workout, like a proper workout. And it could be as simple as that for some people. I mean, yeah, there's more stuff. There's more maintenance things that I have to do, but I found the physical exercise to have a really high ROI, which is return on investment. So this is a business term. Like the effort I put into these workouts, it's going to be reciprocated back to me in a positive way. And yeah, my mind feels calmer after, and it's fun for me. I enjoy it. And then I get to be stronger. Like my body gets to be stronger. I get to pick things up, eat more easily, or I get to be less injured in my body, because I'm making my body stronger. So for me personally, that's like another practical form of quieting the monkey mind. I think the monkey mind can be more activated if someone is not moving their body a lot. So if someone is sitting a lot, or not sweating, or like using their body, then energy, I think, naturally gets trapped here. And so to release this energy, like maybe the hands have to be doing something, like lifting, or like some people do boxing, they're like releasing, they're like getting all this energy out into here, or it can be many, many things, right? I don't need to list every physical activity, but I think you know what I'm trying to say. Like if there's energy here and it's just bouncing all these thoughts, well, maybe like move the body, like run, exercise. If you have any questions about that, you can reach out to me. I'm happy to answer those questions. And something also that helps me with the monkey mind is writing. So writing all of the things I'm thinking about, or that I'm worrying about, or ideas I have, and then just writing it all out. Because now it's no longer an abstract concept, abstract thoughts bouncing in the head. Now they're on a piece of paper, and I can actually read what's in my mind and then I can laugh at it. I can be like, that's what I'm worried about? And then it kind of like loses its power, like all the negative stuff. So yeah, even just writing. Like I like really minimal tools, like basic practices that almost anyone can do almost anywhere. Like writing is just a pen and a piece of paper. Vipassana is just anywhere you can like sit down. It could be the floor, like very minimal, very like basic. Running, like, you know, I arrived here and I got to run in this beautiful property. That can be done almost anywhere. And yeah, so I like those things, like things that don't cost almost any money, and they're very accessible, and yeah, it's they don't require a lot of like equipment and stuff.
So your thinking and these thoughts, from which part of the body is coming? Have you identified? From here, as you are showing me.
I guess I do this because that's where the brain is. So you're asking like, where is the thinking?
Yeah, where is your
from?
mind?
Where's the mind? I guess yeah, I think generally it's like brain activity, and I think if I see it as brain activity, then I feel like it helps me to not take them so seriously. Like it takes the weight off of some of the negative thoughts. So if there's like something I'm really like maybe worried about, if I remember that's just neurological firings in the brain, then I can see it more scientifically and more objectively. Like these are just it's more chemical reactions happening. So it's like, oh yeah, that thought, like it's not really real. Like I don't have to take it really serious. It's not who I am. It's not real. It's not actually happening right now. Like if I'm worrying about something, yeah, it's just a neuron firing. So it's more chemical. It feels more chemical.
So you said about traveling, you went to Vietnam and riding a bike or something. So in recent years there was a person called Jagdish, and he was traveling alone, and later he married, and after that he was traveling with his wife. Later years, one girl born, and he was homeschooling, and he was traveling with girl also by homeschooling. So his name is Jagdish Vasudev, and he is also called as a Sadguru. So you you have visited that Sadguru ashram, like Isha Yoga Center.
Yeah.
So how you got inspired to visit that ashram in Coimbatore?
Yeah, I went to the Isha Center in Coimbatore. It's a beautiful space, campus. I only stayed there 2 nights. And I know Isha through a good friend of mine who's part of the Isha program. And he's been doing it for more than 10 years. So
In United States, huh?
in the United States, yes. So, you know, Coimbatore was on the way to where Kochi is. So I was traveling, passing Coimbatore. So I just, you know, decided to just see the campus and stay there a couple of nights, and so that's how I ended up.
How one can stay there? Like you have to do online booking, or you have to go there and show up, or how you went there?
They have an online booking system. So I guess another way would be to, if someone's more serious, they would volunteer and then stay in one of the dormitories. Yeah, it was only 2 nights.
How was your experience over there? What you felt there? You had a food and everything.
Oh,
Maybe someone want to go there, because he's very famous online. He is a kind of a YouTuber, you can say.
yeah, Sadhguru.
Sadhguru, yes.
I mean, yeah, I have a few thoughts. Like, I never really did a inner engineering program, so I'm more like a observer. But I got to see people doing the yoga practices, and I admire the seriousness and the dedication that these practitioners put into the yoga poses and the breathing techniques. So that I enjoyed observing that. Their bodies looked very healthy and fit, and I think that says a lot, like how someone's body is, how they're taking care of themselves. And one thing I found interesting was during the morning meal and the evening meal, it's all happening in this big dining hall, this big room that could fit about 3,000 people. And we would enter this dining hall ready to eat our meals. And we're all sitting in rows like this. And the food is served in front of us. And so there's 3,000 of us human beings sitting shoulder to shoulder next to each other. And it's generally encouraged that there's no talking. So all of these meals would be in silence. And there would be a moment to pause before eating. I think they do some kind of chant for about 2 minutes, 3 minutes. But I would use that time to just pause and look at my meal before we start eating. So we're all just, all of our food is there ready, but we're all just looking at it in silence, or I guess they do the chanting. And then everyone starts eating, and there's no talking. No one has their their smartphones, their devices, and yeah, there's 3,000 of us just eating our meals in silence. And that was one of the biggest things that stuck out for me. Like, outside of the programs and the meditations and the yoga, like I thought that was like kind of cool, where all of us are just, sharing this meal and we're not even talking. And it's delicious. It's like clean meals, a lot of good vegetables and stuff like that. And on a side note, like I was impressed, like how much some people can eat. Like they would just, because they could just keep asking for more rice or more whatever, and then it's like, wow, the whole plate is like full. I was like, that was impressive. But yeah, as far as like the statues and the like there's some kind of like deities, and even Sadhguru himself, I feel like some people go there, or some people doing the practice, from the outside observer perspective, it felt like just a lot of like worshiping like someone or some statue, like bowing down, and like me personally, I'm not into that kind of stuff. And even with Sadhguru, like he is a human being ultimately, like all of us. He's a human being, and at Isha, it feels like there's that guru energy happening, and me personally, I'm not a fan of that because I think like we're giving away our power if we give it to someone else. Like we think someone is better than us. I think that's like kind of like giving away our power. It's like no one is. I don't think no human is better than another human. But I get it. Like he is the founder. He is the reason why that whole campus exists in the first place. So obviously, there's that respect I have, but I'm not gonna cry every time he says something profound, It's like.
Have you met him close by, very closely like this?
No, I've never been in like the same physical space.
So there is one place called Dhyanalinga, very huge,
Yeah.
How you felt inside that?
I really enjoyed going to the
Dhyanalinga, huh?
Dhyanalinga, the meditation
Place with the
room.
People sit surrounding by that.
Yeah. So I would go there 2 or 3 times a day during my short stay there. And I went there because I liked how quiet it was in there. And there is definitely an energy change when meditation is happening with a group of people. Like even though the eyes are closed, like there is this feeling, this communal feeling of a group meditation, like sharing the same space. So that was more of the reason why I kept going to the Dhyanalinga. Was I like the energy, and I like that it was silent, and I like that it was timed. So it was about 20 to 30 minutes each session. I like that. I'm kind of like my role or my duty there is to just meditate. Like there's no distractions. Like does that make sense? Like we're set timed to be there for 30 minutes, and so I like that. I like that structure to it.
So you have volunteer also in different place. So what do you think about volunteering? Like there is some concept in India, like is in yoga. Yoga means not the physical exercise. More than that, there is also one part is called as a karma yoga, where you are doing something expecting nothing back. So many people follow that, and bhakti yoga also is there. So many different yogas are there. So this karma yoga, like have you tried that, like volunteering for someone expecting nothing from them or something?
Well, I enjoy volunteering. One way, I mean, there are many reasons, but like volunteering, like one, I get to learn new skills. So one volunteering place I went to, I got to learn how to use power tools like the circular saw and multi-tool, all these like machines. And we got to build I guess you could call it a foundation for building, a small shed. And using the hammer and the nail, and like that was like incredible because like I don't have a lot of those experiences. So I like going to places to learn, to gain practical experiences like building something or gardening or just being better at surviving in the outdoors, because I grew up more in like a city-ish environment. it's a great way to connect with people because I'm living with these hosts and we're eating together and we're working together, you know, and there's that bond that gets created. And I think you know, I'm realizing more and more the importance of connecting with people, like how important that is in life, is to connect with people. And doing the volunteering stuff is, I think, one way where I'm getting good ROI, a good return on investment. And so then I keep doing it, you know. Like if I find something that's working, I'm just gonna keep doing it, you know. And yeah, so far it's been really good. Doing it in the States and now in India, they've all been so different from each other.
So you read some books and all. Which book is your favorite book? Like is kind of life changing or something which you can recommend to my audience, you know, who are mostly spiritual seekers.
The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. I think that's a good place to start. And even beyond starting, like I think it's just a good book to read at any time, you know, more than once, more than twice, just reading it. Siddhartha is really good. Think and Grow Rich is really good. And related to that is The Power of the Subconscious Mind. I'm traveling with that book right now. Osho's books. There's one called Courage, which I like. And I saw on your bookshelf, what is the man one?
The Book of Man.
The Book of Man. I've only read, you know, a few pages, but I'm you know, it's got good stuff in there. So just Osho's work in general. Yeah, books. I mean, similar with the practices. It doesn't have to be a spiritual book for it to have a profound effect on someone. So, but I'll see if there's anything else that comes to mind. But yeah, I think just generally reading a good book, not a shitty book, not you know, there are good books, you know, there are plenty of them. I think just the act of like reading and sitting, it's kind of already a meditative act. So just finding like a good book. Something more on the practical side would be Atomic Habits by James Clear. That's a more modern book. It's a practical guide on building new habits and deleting habits that are not helpful. Instead of just talking about habits, like what is a habit, why are they important, it actually gives more actionable, like practical steps. I think habits are pretty important because habits shape who we are. So yeah, there's I would say generally just reading a good book. You know, go to Goodreads and search the review, you know, just making sure it's got good reviews. Not to just not to limit books based on their reviews, but there's just thousands of books, like you don't want to waste your time, right? So from that perspective. Yeah, sometimes I generally enjoy reading all kinds of books. So I was reading Anthony Bourdain's book, A Cook's Tour. Like I really like his writing style. It's very conversational and authentic. There's plenty of fiction books I read. I read books on sports. Like I read a book on tennis, which was Levels of the Game. If you read that book, reach out to me. Would love to talk about that. I read a really, really difficult book about the afterlife. It was kind of like a homework assignment for a retreat I went on, and that was called A Wanderer in the Spirit Lands. I think I'm getting that right, but it's based in Italy, and the language is so dense. Like reading one paragraph sometimes would take me 1 hour just to read one paragraph, because the language is so like Old English, and it got translated from Italian. So there's this like, you know what I mean? Like it's already translated, and it was written around maybe the late 1800s. But that was a pretty. I'm glad I finished it, because it was really dense to read, but I managed to finish it, and that book taught me a little about love and what does it mean to help people. That's what I got from that book. Apparently it's based on a true story where this person entered the afterlife, this person, his physical body was gone. He died and entered the afterlife. And then he would speak to you know what a medium is? A medium is someone who can communicate with dead people.
I heard there somewhere.
So this person who died was using this medium, this human, to write the book for him. About what he's experiencing in the afterlife. Like all these battles and hell and heaven and all these spiritual planes that he's progressing through, and then it turned into this book, A Wanderer in the Spirit Lands. And honestly, reading the title, like when I found out my homework is to read this book, I was kind of like thrown off by the title, because it's like, a wanderer in the spirit lands. It's like, it's very spiritual. Like, I don't want to read this.
Somehow you finished it.
But I'm glad I read it. Yeah, I'm glad I read it. So, yeah.
That's it. Thanks a lot for coming in this podcast. And personally, I have learned a lot of things from you. I hope my audience also did. And I'm really grateful for accepting my invitation to this podcast. And I will post your Instagram link, if you don't mind, in my podcast description of this video. That's it. Thanks a lot for watching this. And if you want to see this kind of podcast, I do a random podcast. These podcasts are not paid podcast. I meet people randomly, and if I feel like they have something to share with the people who are mostly spiritual seeker, I'll do this kind of podcast. If you like this kind of podcast, please subscribe, and you can comment and like this video, or even share this video. Thanks a lot. Namaste.
Namaste. Thank you, Ganesh.
Yeah.